So our goal today is to kind of really get a really good grasp on lines, graphing lines, slopes, up, down, all those kinds of things. So let's kind of just look through these one by one, and on each one we're going to highlight some things. Off to the right, let's put the m equals, and let's put y-intercept with a parentheses. Two things I want to emphasize. Remember, the y-intercept is a point, and the slope is a number, usually written as a fraction. So let's isolate off of number 1. Look in front of the x, and we see the number -2. That's our slope. How do I write -2 as a fraction? (-2/1). And then at the back end, this +4 is the y-intercept. So that's 0, 4. The y-intercept, that's our starting point, if you remember. So I go to my line, I go to my y-axis, and I go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I put a dot there. Now, Josh, you said the slope was (-2/1. How does that relate to putting points on the graph? I go down 2, and I go over 1 to the right. And do you remember, we always run to the right. So when Josh says we go over 1 to the right. So go down 2 again, over 1. Fill up the graph with dots in that same pattern, all the way to the bottom. What about going backwards? Can we follow the pattern backwards? We should be able to. So follow the pattern backwards. So instead of going down and over, go up and back. Then take out your straight edge. If you still have a straight edge, great. If you don't, open up your spiral, rip out a piece of paper, fold it like a hot dog twice, make a new one. Put your straight edge on there. Draw your line. And then another important thing to remember, put arrows on the end of your line. So as you're making your straight edge, there's just a couple review things here. We start at the y-intercept. That's our starting point. The y-intercept has a point, 0, a number. And then we want to fill our graph with points, extend our line to the edges of either side of the graph, and put arrows on the graph because there's more off the graph than there is on the graph. Okay? So a couple things there. Let's look at number 2. Off to the right, let's put our slope. And then below it, let's put y-intercept with our parentheses. All right, Josh answered that one, so let's have a lady answer this one. What's my slope? Elizabeth? I'm sorry. Haley? 1/3. 1/3. Okay. And Abby, what's my y-intercept? 0, (-2). Very good. So let's start at the y-intercept, down here at (-2), and now let's do my slope. So I go up 1 over 3. Up 1 over 3. And then try to do it backwards. Fill your graph with your points. Take your straight edge. Draw your line. Put your arrows. So the first one is going down, it's a negative slope. The second one's going up, it's a positive slope. Look at number, well, I guess that was number 4, but oh well. Look down here at this bottom left one, this (-2/5) one. Is it going up or going down? You should be able to see that right away. Give me a thumbs up if you think it's going up, a thumbs down if you think it's going down. All right, it's going down. That's good. Noah, why do you say it's going down? Okay, because it's a (-2/5). All right, so let's write that out to the side. Our slope is (-2/5). Thank you, Noah. And Noah, what's my y-intercept? Can you help me there? Okay, let's give it as a point. 0, 1. All right, so 0, 1, put that on there. Boom. And Noah, can you tell me where I go? Okay, we're going to go down 2 over 5. Good. Down 2 over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little off there. Whoops, I made a mistake. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this case, I can only fit 3 points on the graph because you have such a horizontal type of a graph. Put your arrows on there. There's more off the graph than on the graph. And it's going down and over. All right, let's slide over here to number 5 on the right. X equals 3. Couple reminders. X equals a number, goes through what axis? What variable is right there? X, so it goes through the x-axis. What does this thing look like? Is it horizontal or is it vertical? It's vertical because it goes through the x-axis. So find x equals 3, which is right there. Put a dot there, and now draw a line through that point. There it is. A vertical line at x equals 3. Now let's slide down here to number 3. Y equals 2. Y equals a number. What am I going to put? Goes through what? Yeah, it goes through the y-axis. So go to y equals -2 and put a dot there. And now I have to go through the y-axis. So take your line and draw it horizontally through the y-axis. Little review here. Sam, what's the slope of this horizontal line? 0. And what's the slope of this line, John? Undefined. Good. Undefined. Sometimes we said no slope too. It doesn't matter. So both are correct. Nice answers on both cases. All right, so I have this little review here. mx plus b, that's our standard form. M is the slope. Sometimes we think rise over run. B is the y-intercept, and we always want to write it 0, comma b. Start your graph on the y-axis, plot enough points to fill the graph, and put arrows at the end of your line. X equals a number is a vertical, y equals a number is a horizontal. So that's just kind of a nice little summary sheet for you to have for all your graphing. So hopefully that will help. Okay, questions? Questions there?